What up, guys? Welcome to the Sound Centric Podcast. I'm Samuel Sarfo.
I'm Adam Dash.
And thank you guys for tuning in. As always, we've been gone for a minute, busy with the personal lives, but we're back now, full in. And it's good to see you guys, man. It's good to see you too, Adam. It's been a minute. I know this guy has been traveling literally all over the world, enjoyed himself. But let's get right to it. We got a lot to talk about today. Make sure you like and subscribe. Check out the website. Do all of that. And we appreciate you guys as always. But Adam, what is your playlist title and leading single?
My playlist title as a recent college graduate, a sad college graduate, and starting to look for a job in the music industry. So I'm going to go with Stressed, and the song will be Stressed by Doechii. Shout out Doechii, the future queen of hip hop, who's going on tour with Doja Cat, which is hype for her. It's been a lot of denials going on during this job process. But, you learn from every failure, and we're just trying to get there. But as Sam said, I was traveling across the world in Europe for my graduation present, and I got to see Nas and Wu-Tang in the famous O2 Arena in London. A sick show with a bunch of definitely an older audience. It was cool seeing people fanboy over Wu-Tang and Nas, and good for them being 50 plus and killing it and selling out arenas all over Europe. They clearly know how to perform. These guys have been doing it for so long. They're good with one person having to breathe and taking the other person's lines and being able to do that. It was just a sick show. I'm happy I got to see that. But how are you? What's your playlist title? I know you've been studying for the GREs and applying.
Yeah, man, I've just been focused on the application process, but I'm still been keeping up with the music. I'm not sure if you can see the guitar in the background. I've been grinding on the guitar a bit, the music theory and all that stuff, so I can get to producing. That stuff's coming down the line. But for me, my playlist title is going to be The Marathon. Rest in peace to Nipsey. Life is always a marathon, and of course, I feel like my journey now, you feel like you're graduating now. I already graduated now. The marathon feels to be over, but it's not over. There's another marathon to get over. You just started, right? So the marathon never stops. And
it's weird being back as like the youngest in the pile. Like you go from being a senior and the oldest, and now you're just a baby again in the eyes.
That's crazy to think about.
The rest of the workforce.
You're right. Everything just restarts again. Yeah. And then for me, the single is going to be 4 out of 5 by Arctic Monkeys on their 2020, I want to say 2020 project, Tranquility Base and Hotel Casino. Arctic Monkeys is one of my favorite bands of all time. Low key, I've been listening to a lot of alternative. I've actually been on a hip hop detox. My friend was shooting me a message, Jonathan. He was like, "Yo, you gotta listen to this Dave and Central C. I hope you heard it." I'm like, "Bro, I haven't heard hip hop in like 2 months. It's crazy." I've been listening to strictly just alternative and rock, and that's of course what I've been learning to make. On the guitar, on the piano, and stuff like that. And of course, we're gonna get to this later about the state of hip hop now.
Yeah.
But I just been really rocking some alternative music, and that's just what's been leading me on and pushing me through.
That Dave and Central C album is dope. It's not my favorite albums come out of like British rap. I really like that 2022 project from not Skepta. It's fucking. I'm so bad with remembering the names. No,
Stormzy.
It's Stormzy. There we go.
This is what I mean.
Yeah, he was saying that it inspired him a lot by Igor and Tyler. So I was listening to it the other day again. It's just a great project. Oh, and what's her name? Fucking Little Sims. Goated. Like I think Little Sims is like a top 10 rappers in general right now.
Easily.
Released the music video for Gorilla, music video of the year. It is so sick.
I saw that. So
yeah, British people put in hip hop on their backs. I know Central C just got signed by Capitol Records or something, and they said
Columbia.
That he's not Columbia Records, and they said he's gonna have a new single coming out with Drake. And I saw a picture with him and Drake. And I'm sure it's gonna be Drake with an accent, rapping with his fake British accent.
Oh wow, Drake and Sench. That's gonna be huge. I mean, listen, I'm a huge fan of British rap. I've been for a long time. A lot of these black rappers, they're African. Their parents come from Africa. Same thing with me, and that's just how the culture is at that point. But I know when I heard the EP with Dave and Sench, I didn't like it that much. Also, at that time, I was focusing my mind on the Paramore concert I was going to go to. Incredible concert. I actually went by myself. Shout out to Adam. Shout out to Lauren, too, because these people both pushed me to go by myself. I know some people are freaked out to go to concert by themselves. F that.
It's worth it.
You can meet people there. It's worth it. It's incredible. The concert was incredible, man. Incredible. Yeah,
Haley Williams, voice live. I mean, there's that video on YouTube of her doing, I forget which song it is, but it's just like the acapella. Like you just hear her voice, and it's fucking amazing. Going going to things alone, going to the movie theater alone if no one wants to see
Mhm.
a movie, just like getting that experience. Saw the new Spider-Man alone.
Goated.
That's yo
Changed my life.
amazing. It was amazing. I
My third eye open.
before I went on the trip, I was going to see Guardians of the Galaxy alone, and my mom's like told my dad like go with him. I'm like he's not going to enjoy this. He's not going to
Yeah.
understand it. So I went with him. He did not enjoy it. So when I was going to see Spider-Man, he's like, really? Like a cartoon Spider-Man? So I was watching the first one that day, and I'm like, yeah. Apparently it's like the best animated movie ever.
That was one of the best things. Apart from Oppenheimer, which I'll see soon, this
Yes,
Spider-Man
sir.
movie was the best film I've seen in a long time, my friend. Screw Marvel.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sony doing it right. This is Spider-Man.
Me and my dad saw this new like Jennifer Lawrence comedy movie last night. It was awful. It was very disappointing.
Well, I knew it wouldn't be amazing, but it's still nice to support her. She's doing her own like kind of indie-ish type film or whatever.
People were saying like it's the return of the raunchy 2010s, 2000s like comedy film, and this shit was just not funny. My dad was like my dad was checking the email during it, and I was like laughing from how unfunny it was and how bad I felt that I took my dad to see it, and I'm like, at least we got popcorn. That's best case
how
scenario.
You know it's bad when your dad is checking emails, doing work during the movie. But I think the movie is not as bad as this XXL list. I won't even say bad. I don't want to hate on these people. Congratulations for making it this far. I'm not going to be a hater, but I can be serious. When I look at this list, man, I don't know a single person on here. I could see them in person. What did Kiki Palmer say? I couldn't tell you a thing.
I don't know that man.
I don't know. I don't know neither of them for real. I don't know, man.
Yeah. We'll go through the list. It is Glorilla, who that's a huge artist. That was a correct pick. Yeah. I might pronounce names wrong. Finesse 2 times, Lola Brooke, Rob 49, Friday, Too Rare, Sleazy World Go, Central C, South Scent, Real Boston Richie, Lud Tyler, who I will touch on in a second, Tia Corinne, and DC the Don, which sounds familiar, although I'm not familiar with his music. Yeah, XXL. It takes on a different meaning. I would love to hear your take first before I go on a slight rant.
Before you go in. Again, I know there's been a hot take about XXL and its legacy. Of course, the introduction of XXL into hip hop is forever going to remain. It still is a huge platform that has put artists on. I mean, just look at all the great artists who've been freshmen. But at a certain period, it was really, I don't know, I would say important, or it was an honor to be a XXL freshman. But I'll say after that class, the legendary class, I think it was 2016 with 21 Savage, Lil Uzi, all of them, that's when things shifted. And I think the platform has lost its value in hip hop over time. So when I see them select artists that maybe I'm not familiar with, or even missing out on some artists who are really great, like for example, we saw clearly there was no Ice Spice, no Kenny Mason, or no Redveil, which was shocking a lot of people. You can touch on the Ice Spice situation a little bit, but I think it doesn't really matter anymore because I don't think people truly care about the platform anymore. I mean, and I think that's just, it's harsh. Things change, generations change, music changes. So it is what it is. I have no feelings about it. I'm not going to hate on these artists. They should be happy that they made it this far, and they should just keep it up and continue making that music that isn't going number one.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that too. To give XXL credit for a second, the 2016 list was not loved when it first came out.
True.
It is easy to say that now because those artists are still great, but it was easy to say like there's no way these guys are going to last. And that cipher that's now known as the most famous cipher, I used to listen to it because I thought it was funny. I didn't think it was good. It was just hilarious. Like 21 Savage literally forgets his lines in the middle of it. And he says, he starts like mumbling. He does not know what he's doing. And Kodak's like, who picked this sorry ass beat? They were not fucking with it. And someone pointed out that I think almost every single artist on this freshman list is like 28 plus. So they're not really freshmen, but no, hey, people blow at different times.
On the current list?
Yeah, on the current list. Besides Lud Tyler, who's 17.
That's crazy.
And this kid, Lud Tyler, I would say his management's doing it right. He's on my feed every day. I don't want him to be. I just don't like, it's not my style of music. It's kind of like, it's like the Babytron style music where it's kind of punched in and offbeat. It's not for me. Clearly it's for a lot of people. I can't tell if these people are posting it because they are paid to, or they generally just really like this kid.
Yeah.
And I texted you this. I see him performing, which is good for him because a lot of these artists are skipping that and like going straight to festivals. For example, Ice Spice, she's great. She's doing it right. But you see like her stage presence at these festivals, it's just so awkward.
Yeah.
It's like there's that video of her, like it was completely silent, then she started
Mhm.
twerking a minute in. Everyone's like, "Yeah, she's here."
Oh
But
man, that's crazy.
credit to her. But a lot of these different awards that we used to value just
Mhm.
don't have that value anymore. I mean, we see people. I think Drake rescinded his album from the Grammys.
Mhm.
Artists who are bigger clearly do not care about the Grammys because if you get it wrong so many times, it loses its prestige. And we go back to 2018, and credit to Cardi B, it was a good album. It was a really high
Mhm.
selling album, but they could have picked Mac Miller, they could have picked Travis Scott, and they could have picked Pusha T, and all three of those choices would have been way more lauded than if they picked Cardi
Mhm.
B, which at the time seemed like they were just picking like the new female artist, which was a
Yeah.
good album, but those three choices were just clearly better. And I saw someone talk about how BET a few years ago picked Sam Smith as the best new artist over Ray Shremmerd. People are like,
Uh-oh.
why was there? First off, why was Sam Smith nominated for a BET award for best new artist? And Ray Shremmerd dropped like a classic. So
Yeah.
that loses its esteem. And then it's just award show after award show and honor after honor. It seems that they're picking wrong. And
Mhm.
maybe it's just because we have our head in a hole. I really don't know a lot of these artists. I've never heard of them.
Yeah.
Glorilla's great. Like she has a
Mhm.
hit song last year.
Mhm.
And who knows? I don't know if these people are denying the list. I can't imagine Red Veil would deny it. Like
Yeah.
he seems like someone who would have taken it. I
Yeah.
bet Ice Spice denied it. It seems
Mhm.
like that. Kenny Mason would have been a sick choice.
100%.
It's it just used to be like a whole lyrical prowess type thing. And
Mhm.
now it's artists who maybe aren't known for freestyling. And we've discussed this before. Maybe they have to change it to fit the type of skill set artists have. You're having artists do freestyles and ciphers who just aren't freestylers
Yeah.
or bar for
I'll
bar
never
cool
forget that
artists.
Anderson .Paak freestyle. I've never heard anything so
Oh my
atrocious in
God.
my life.
That shit. It's like my baby's half Asian. And oh my God, he was like doing spoken word. That shit sucked. Low key, Lil
Yeah,
Dicky went off on that.
yeah, he did. Shout out to Lil
Credit
Dicky.
to Lil Dicky.
Yeah.
But these artists, they gotta change something, or just sadly, it's lost its cultural importance at this
And I
point.
think that's what it is. I mean, there's no confirmation yet, but it does seem that Ice Spice was obviously invited to come, but she didn't take it. I think that just shows that probably her management, like you said, who are on top of things, told her, yo, this actually might not be good for the brand. You're doing
Yeah,
music with Taylor Swift. You're on the stage at BET. You're doing all these great things. And if you look at these names, we may not want you to be, next to them. So that just shows how the value is going down a little bit. And I think it's just not the platform that it used to be, unfortunately. I mean, it is what it is, but there's nothing you can do about it, really. And like you said
yeah.
about the freestyles, too, they've been inviting people again since that 2016 Cypher. Of course, it's been rap, lyrical rap substance, but they've been inviting people who are singers. Like, wasn't, not maybe Rod Wave, but the dude who was invited on J. Cole's project. Murray was invited
Moray.
too, right? So they're not freestyling; they're singing on these beats. So that's going to
Yeah,
change how how the platform is.
yeah. Even back then, like Travis Scott, someone who might not be known for his lyrics, like
Mm-hmm.
his freestyle is
Yeah.
he's trying to rap his ass
Mm-hmm.
off.
Yeah.
And there's been some. I've seen a couple of the clips from this year's. It's
Mm-hmm.
fine.
Oh,
It's
you
just not
watched
as
it?
I watched like they came up my
Oh,
Twitter feed.
shout
I
out
was
to you.
forced to.
I was forced to.
I'll tell you, I didn't search. I didn't search for it,
Yeah.
but they're fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. It's not the cool thing where they're finding young talent anymore.
It
And
is.
I don't know the politics that go
Mm-hmm.
into doing this. Maybe it's only artists that show up to the Double XL
Mm-hmm.
office and show their new music.
Yeah.
Maybe it's managers making connections with editors in chiefs of Double XL and
Yeah,
have
that's how it
deals.
is. Yeah.
Like who knows? But sadly, losing is important. I think there's definitely a way to turn it around and make it regain cultural importance. But for
I think it's
now,
too late, homie. I'm really just happy to see Sench on it.
yeah,
Central C.
he's
My
fire.
friend Quiz kind of put me on to him. I've always liked him. Like, obviously, his song blew up. On
Doja.
TikTok, yeah, Doja. But I wasn't really that big into him, so I started learning about his story and all the work he put in and what he's doing for UK rap. And he's a huge dude. And the fact that he signed to Columbia is humongous. And what surprised me the most was a lot of these British rappers like Dave and Stormzy and now Sench, they're signed to American labels. They're not signed to British labels, which I think is
Yeah,
interesting just because they need to broaden their audience and try to get, obviously, consumers in America.
yeah. I mean, Little Sims has a whole song, and the whole
Mm-hmm.
album honestly is about her. She's very
Mm-hmm.
anti-label.
Yeah.
Like she hates it. But hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to get where you want to go.
No way she's independent, right? She's
No, I
signed
think
to a
she's.
label.
I don't know. based on her album, it
She's just
sounded
one
like
of those unicorns, man.
She was very anti-label, and she's gotten respect from Kendrick Lamar talking about her skill. She's like, she's fucking good.
Their collab is pending. Seriously, their collab is pending.
Yeah, it's such an artist Kendrick would come to. Also, this wasn't in the script. What do you think about the Kendrick Baby Keem song?
It was just fun. It was just for jokes. Like, it wasn't supposed to be serious. I'm not. You can't call it bad because it's just them having fun. You feel me? You can't be like Fantano here. The song was absolutely bad because it's analysis. No, it was just a fun song.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be like a snobby Fantano reviewer, but I thought it was funny when everyone's saying Kendrick's just having fun now. Just say you don't like it. Just say you don't like it.
All right, I don't like it. I'm not going back to it. But it's just a fun. It's just a fun song. It's not it's not him trying. He's just messing around, having fun.
I would say there's ways. Yeah, I think there's ways to have fun and make a good song.
Okay.
I don't know. It was cool. I'm down to hear Kendrick rapping more and doing his beat. I don't know. I don't really need him doing I can't tell if Baby Keem is doing Kendrick style that he made for Baby Keem, or if Kendrick's just doing Baby Keem style that he created.
Yeah.
I don't know, like what circle's going around the two cousins. Hey, I mean, if it means more Kendrick music, I'm down for it.
Facts.
But I have not played that song. People seem to love it. I don't get it.
I mean, I was just happy to see them having fun. That's all that matters. Tyler was in the video. That was cool too. But that's really about it. I wasn't being critical. I mean, these artists can have fun, Adam. I feel like a lot of fans these artists just want to have fun. I mean, it's not that serious. They don't need to drop a classic every year. Like that's
I know. Does not have to be a classic. I just didn't think it was a good song.
Of course not. It wasn't supposed to be a good song.
And I know you wanted to touch on the stat that this is the first year in how many years that hip hop has not had a #1 album to the point of June. Partly, largely, 100% because Morgan Wallen is just fucking fighting it up at the top of the hill with every single artist. Apparently, Young Thug is possibly going to claim that, but fucking Morgan Wallen in that song, "Tonight We Let the Liquor Talk" and that shit. I hate country music. I'm sorry. I try to get different genres of music in my palette.
Yeah,
it's not for me. But you wanted to touch on the evident decline of hip hop. Although I'm going to disagree. It is what it is,
bro. Facts don't care about your feelings, and the numbers don't lie. It says what it is. I mean, right now you're talking about, oh man, we can't wait for more Kendrick music because you're hungry. You've been starving, man, because these artists aren't feeding you. It is what it is.
Which artist that dropped this year did you think would go #1?
I don't even know who dropped. I can't even tell you.
Like, there's no one has dropped that we would even expect to have crossed that point. The Gunna album is getting a lot of like praise, but also he came out of jail, and a lot of people have mixed feelings on that. As a person from the suburbs, I don't give a fuck about his ratting or not ratting in jail.
Yeah,
I just like music, and his single "Bread and Butter" is fire.
Yeah,
but I think the issue right now in hip hop, which is it's been an issue with a certain style of artists, is I think they're just releasing playlists and they're not releasing albums.
Okay.
And there's a difference, and we hear it. And there are artists who do make like trap music that do make albums, and that's why we're so excited for this Travis Scott project. People are gonna wait up for that Travis project because we expect like a movie, something that really comes together. And I think these artists just drop playlists. I think Young Thug, he made a line about saying "sweetie," and people thought he was saying "so weedy," like the rapper. And he's like, "I made that song 6 years ago. I wasn't talking about her." Why is a song from 6 years ago appearing on your album now?
I mean, he's kind of in a pickle, right? So he can't be recording in the prison cell.
I mean, then just don't drop music. I don't know. But a lot of these artists, a lot of artists I think are dropping just a bunch of playlists. And I think Drake is the #1 culprit for why that's happening. Part of. I think Drake drops playlists. I don't think Drake drops albums now that have a certain sound to them. Besides, I guess the dance record was all dance type music. But like Certified Lover Boy didn't really have a sound to it. Her Loss, I love it in the gym. I think it's a really fun album. But it doesn't sound like a body of work, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like Killer Mike drops an album and there's a sound to it. There's transitions to it. There's a theme. And some people like that, and a lot of people just don't care about that anymore. And we'll go Young Thug album, go right to the Drake feature, which is a fire song, but they don't really care about the rest.
It's a tough situation, but I think it just goes to show how much music has changed. Of course, with bringing in streaming, initially streaming helped the industry. It saved the industry because of the whole MP3 leakage and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, back then, music was an art where you're really just expressing your feelings. People were in the clubs and at lounges playing their heart out. And then as soon as the industry came in, it came all about money and sales. And over time, that's been exacerbated. So now you just have people coming in who are really just looking for quick cash, quick sounds to help them blow up. And in hip hop now, you have this thing I like to call the clone conundrum, where everybody is just wanting to sound the same. Like in all the genres, of course, there's copycats and it's especially in radio music, mainstream music, but in hip hop, it's really prevalent, man. The fact that just everybody sounds the same. The beats are the same. The flows are the same. The cadences are the same. No one wants to be different. But at the same time, I was listening to this documentary and I was talking about how a lot of artists, for them to stand out and be unique, they essentially have to copy some artists. So I had this like amazing quote here. And the quote basically said that good artists borrow, great artists steal. And eventually, when you start out making music, you copy your favorite artist. And essentially, when you copy your artist, you do such a bad job at it that it ends up turning into your own sound. And then if you keep pushing for that sound, then it eventually becomes great. Everything's already been done before. There's nothing hiding underneath the sun, but you still have to be creative in a sense. And hip hop, I think, has just lost a lot of creativity.
Yeah, I mean, DSPs are diluted with artists. I think you sent me the stat, but it was like 80% of artists won't release music in the next 5 years that have music out right now. It's really hard to be creative when a lot of stuff's been done, and I guess it's easy to say everything's been done until that new sound does come out that shocks us all. And I mean, trap took huge waves in 2015, and that was the new style. It's been a decade, so maybe we'll hear something new now. But back in the day, you bought an album for $10, and if it sucked, you had to listen to it, and you had to find the right songs because you spent money on it, and you couldn't preview it before. Now, I kind of like what Travis Scott does with hiding the features and when artists do that, besides for the fact that Twitter ruins it, but it's cool for the first week because it forces you to listen to it. It also makes it a whole moment. I remember listening to Sicko Mode and going, is that Drake? Then like the beat changes, you're like, what the fuck? Is it the same song? Like, what the hell is happening? You listen to Can't Say, and this new artist, Don Toliver, comes in, you're like, who the hell is this?
Yeah.
I think that's just a sick way to experience an album in this new age. But it's hard. It's definitely hard, and there's only certain artists that we have the love for. Some people, it will be one artist. They're like, I'll only listen to a J. Cole album and complete. Everyone else, I'll just skip around. I think we're lovers of music, so we enjoy listening top to bottom. But it's hard. These albums are just diluted. Uzi just announced his new album, which sick rollout. I'm sure you love like the anime, the whole the movie thing. But 26 songs, 26. If you're a huge fan of Uzi, Merry Christmas. I am so happy for you.
Christmas.
I will not be listening to 26 songs. That's too many.
Hey, Kendrick, but at least there'll be a hit in there somewhere, right? So I can just skim through and find the hit, right?
I might just wait till people tell me what the hit is, which is a sad thing to say.
Yeah.
But Kendrick, if J. Cole said his new album was 26 songs, I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I would like a concise album.
Favorite artist of all time, drop the deluxe or drop a mixtape with those other songs. 26, it's too many. And I bet those songs are like a minute and a half. Wait.
That's the thing. You are blaming Drake, but I think you have to blame streaming more than Drake. It's kind of like what you said earlier with buying CDs and how that was really memorable. You bought the CD, you felt it, you smelt it, you saw, you took it out and wrapped it, you saw the art cover, you appreciated it a lot more. And because you bought it, you spent time with it. Even if you bought an album you didn't like, right? It's a risk for buying an album you didn't like, but you would spend enough time to see what it's about because you spend money on it. Now, because streaming, the industry's watered down because anyone can join, right? Of course, it's great that everyone can make music now, but there's a difference between people who are actually serious about making this stuff and those who are like, oh, this is a hobby and I'm barely trying and I'm going to try to make some music. So that waters down the industry. And because everyone has every genre of every style from around the world on a click of a button, they're not going to appreciate it as much. And even like the way we're talking about Lil Uzi, like we're going to skim through the album and pick whatever, even though we know Lil Uzi spent so much time on the album, which sucks, but that's just the music industry we live in now, you know?
Yeah, and social media is to blame with our reaction. People are saying within 12 hours a Young Thug's album dropping. Either it's great or it is mid, and comparing it to Gunna's album because of their whole beef. Like, yo, give it. It was crazy under 12 hours how people had formed opinions on this album. And I'm not going to sit here and say I love the album. There's some tracks I liked. But I remember listening to the off season and being disappointed on first listen because it's never exactly what you wanted.
Yeah.
And then I keep listening to it, and the off season's probably my second favorite album by Cole.
Yeah.
And you got to give stuff time. And we don't give things time because a whole new group of albums is dropping next Thursday. And a whole new group of albums is dropping next Thursday from big artists who pack it with 26 songs. And people don't have the time to listen to this many songs. They find their favorites. They go in a playlist like Rap Caviar or something. Click shuffle. They find what they like.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I mean that's why these artists now, and like we were talking about before, how on TikTok they're basically experimenting their music on TikTok, seeing how the fans react, and if they do react well, they can drop it as a song. But there's also a lot of artists who aren't even dropping it as a song; they just put it on TikTok to specifically make it a TikTok song, and that it can be viral on that, and that can create buzz for them to drop a future project or future song. So, yeah.
I have strong feelings on that. Not the making songs just for TikTok. I mean, if you want to go viral, I guess that's a good way of doing it. But for you to be an artist, to test out a song, and because it doesn't get crazy reception, you don't make the full song. Make the music for you. That's what everyone like. You can't make it for them. If Christopher Nolan's, I mean, it's hard to say this because Christopher Nolan has such a background of work, but if he released a trailer and everyone was like, what the fuck is this movie about a bomb? Who cares? And like just scrap the project. What are we doing? On the other hand, there's been times where they released the trailer for Sonic and it looked awful. And they went back and they fixed it. Or they released the trailer for Mario, maybe like they clown the voice. So they go back and they fix the voice. It's one thing to take critiques from fan bases. That could be cool. Like having your fan base be able to interact and kind of give you suggestions, and maybe you take some and maybe you don't. But to scrap a song because it doesn't get enough likes on TikTok, that just pisses me off.
But what you said, that also describes the type of artists who are breaking through. If they're caring so much about what people have to say, what does that tell you? That means, and I know it hurts to say, but it's the truth. That means you're really not making art. You're making products for people to listen, to purchase, to buy, to sell in order to live this lifestyle, have this clout, and be famous. You don't actually care about the art, because if you did, you would actually be making the art for yourself. That tells you who's coming up in the mainstream. That tells you what's going on in the music industry and why we're seeing these things. It's not about how talented you are. It's about how marketable you are. And that's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, your favorite quote is, when shit hits the fan, are you still a fan?
Yeah.
And if you're an artist and you're making it just for them, it's going to hit the fan at some point. You're going to drop something they don't like, and you're going to lose it. So you got to just make it for you, and you got to be confident in it. And we know the types of artists. You can tell the excitement they have, whether it's when they have a full album rollout and they have a whole plan behind it. You can tell they really care about the art. So, I mean, I guess the credit to Uzi, he made that. He's been working on this for a while, and he had the whole cool rollout. He's just someone I've never been like a huge into listening to his full albums. 26 songs, it's just too many. But in general, respect to him for having some form of rollout. That's cool. Bring it back.
I don't know if I'm really that excited. Of course, I like Lil Uzi, but my hype for him was when he dropped Eternal Take. The album was huge. It sold a lot. And
I thought it sucked.
Well, I mean, but there's some slappers, right?
I don't listen to a single song of that album.
Not a single. There are some Prices is a slapper. Prices. That song will uplift you. It will bring. It'll make your day be so much better just listening to that song. Prices is incredible. There's a couple of joints on that album that are incredible. The album itself as a whole, that's whatever. I don't care. I'm not looking for Lil Uzi to make a majestical body of work. I just need him to have some slappers I can put in the whip. That's all I need from Uzi.
But I feel like the thing that's gotten 21 Savage so popular in the recent years is like he's started making like albums that seem to have like an album feel to them. And maybe it's the whole teaming up with one producer thing that makes an album feel whole again, which I am so down for. I love it. Metro's going to come out with an album with JID. He's coming out with an album with Future. And it's cool seeing producers become famous names by themselves.
Yeah.
That's awesome for the industry. Get those guys from behind the scenes that make these artists sometimes actually get a name for themselves.
So now that hip hop, we know it's struggling a little bit. It's taking a couple L's. Who are you excited for to drop before the end of the year? Of course, you said Travis, but I don't know. I'm not really excited for a lot of hip hop artists to drop. I guess Travis, sure, but it's just been so well overdue. I'm not feeling it.
I mean, it's easy to say like J. Cole, obviously. Pusha T seems to be in the works or something. But to name some artists, that Jim Jones stuff, he needs to drop that song that he teased at the runway. To name some songs or some artists Paris, Texas. I'm excited for. That's I think you would like Paris, Texas. They're like rock and rap mixed.
Okay, I
I'll
never
send
heard
you
of
one of
them.
the singles.
Okay.
Jordy put us on when I was a junior and you were a senior.
Okay.
A while ago. But they're fire. I think you'd actually like. They're weird, but they're cool.
All right.
Let me think. Chris Patrick, I'm sure will drop something soon. I mean, I love Chris Patrick. JID and Metro, if that's coming out this year, that'd get me really hyped for it. Doechii, need that first TDE album.
Oh, Doechii. She signed. I keep forgetting she signed a TDE. That's a huge signing. She like you said, she's gonna be the future of hip hop, 100%.
I think she's so good. J-Rock dropped a single today. J-Rock, so underrated because that last album has so many hits on it.
Yeah, Redemption.
It is great. Yeah, what an album.
It's been a while since he's dropped too.
It's been like 5 years, but he's the man. He just dropped a single. I have to listen to it after this pod.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for him. Who else we got? I mean, do you have any like non-hip hop people that you're thinking about?
I have a few, but I'm just doing this for hip hop's sake because they need somebody. Yeah. For me, I think Doja. If she sticks with this hip hop lane, Doja Cat's someone I'm seriously excited for.
That's gonna be sick. This new single was like good. It wasn't anything that blew me away, but like I'm so team rap your ass off and fuck them. She's someone who's clearly doing it for herself because she's like, I made that last album like as a joke to see how popular it can get, and she achieved that. Who's Sampha is dropping Sampha. He's dropping a single soon, so maybe that means an album from him. He's fire. I'm trying to think of some R&B people. Maybe Georgia Smith. I love Georgia Smith. No worries. No worries. Anderson .Paak Knowledge. That's like my favorite duo ever.
Yep.
That needs to drop because they've been teasing that for 2 years. They dropped a single. I need that because that first album is probably top 5 for me all time. Yeah, I'm obsessed with No Worries.
Yeah, there's really not a lot. Like officially speaking, the only one I know is Post Malone is dropping July 28th, and Olivia Rodrigo just announced her project on September 8th. But like apart from that, there really isn't much going on. I know Doja dropped a single, so she's going to be cooking.
Drake's got a new album.
Yeah, Drake.
For the Dogs, which I'm mixed between because on one hand, like awesome that he keeps dropping. He is feeding the people, and every album has so many good songs on it. That being said, I don't know, maybe sometimes take some time to make the full album. Like I don't have faith in Drake that it's going to be a complete sounding album, but who knows? He's so good, it could be his best album in years. You never know until it drops.
You know you don't believe that.
I actually loved Her Loss. I think it's a great album.
Man,
going in the gym.
I like Drake and go.
Jumbo Shit poppin'. It's just got a lot of great songs in the gym that get me going, or like driving, just get you hyped up.
Drake, I just think he's dropping so much.
He is.
At the end of the day, he's a big artist. He's gonna have these number ones. People are gonna die to listen to Drake, so that's cool. I know there's gonna be hits on the album, but I just feel like Drake hasn't really given me something that I can cling on to since being nice about it. I can say since More Life, but really I would say since 2015's album. If you're reading This Is Too Late, like that album was incredible. But after that, Usel's dope album too. But
it's got that dark feeling to it. I'm always on the side. I just want to hear him rapping for a full album, but I don't think that's ever coming. But at least if you're reading This Is Too Late, it has like this dark sound that feels like you're walking through Toronto, even though he's singing in some songs and rapping. It's got a feel to it.
And he feels hungry. He feels hungry at that time, and he's making great music. He's still making good music, but I feel like it's more so for the mainstream, for the general public to eat up and enjoy. But you never know, man. Maybe Drake can come up with something new. You guys let us know. There's a lot of conversation about hip hop, where it's gonna go, who's gonna take over from Kendrick, Cole, and Drake. That's the real big combo. Who's gonna step up? Doechii, one of them. Lil Sims, one of them. I think British rappers are gonna take over. People are saying British rap might take over, but we'll see how it goes. Exactly. Let us know what you guys think. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, we appreciate you, and we'll see you next week. See ya.
Peace.